All right, here's the Retay all put together. Um, it's holding up well after a couple seasons. Still looks good and nice and shiny and new. Um, I did I did put my own recoil pad on. I put a Packmeyer decelerator. Did the work myself. Came out okay for my first time. Um, again, uh, gun's holding up well. So I put about 500 rounds through it, and it's it's done very well. I've got about, I don't know, three or four failure to ejects. Um, those were mostly on the, oddly enough, on the fast velocity shells, like the 1400 feet per second shells. The 1200, 1300 feet per second shells loads, those were mostly, I didn't have any problems with those. I may have had one, but most of them, and I think it's three or four total out of roughly 500 rounds. And that's just because I think the gun is it's so new that it's still getting broken in. So it's bound to have a couple of those. But I think once it gets broken in and loosened up a little bit, I won't have any issues. Again, these are just steel double-O's that I've been shooting. So 1 ounce, an ounce and an eighth, like sevens and seven and a halves. So other than that, here in this kind of this etched or this kind of rough area, the polished blue is holding up well. So when I'm hunting and I hunt in the desert, it gets pretty hot in the summertime. So I think the sweat kind of it turns this a little white. Sometimes you got to use a lot of cleaner to get it off. It's kind of a little difficult sometimes. That would be like my only gripe about this. So I love the way the trigger mechanism just pops out um, like so. Um, and this is very well made. The machine work is pretty good. I was a machinist for 15 years. Um, I don't see any crazy tool marks in here. I see some tool marks, but that's normal. Nothing that looks bad. Um, so I like this. This is very, very nice. And it pops right back in like so. Can't beat that. That's great. Pull that thing out, clean it, put it back in. Um, the wood's holding up nice. Um, oh, one more thing is I seem to the nut or the four piece here, the forearm, that seems um, to back out a little bit. You really got to crank that thing down, um, which is a little difficult to do. It's so you got to crank that thing way down, um, and I guess there's one more thing. My choke tubes seem to back out a little too, so I tighten those things down, and I have to constantly check those. And I don't know if that's something that's going to get better over time. I'm going to keep an eye on that. Um, but again, those are minor issues. I think they will. I don't know if it's stock choke tubes, if it's something that would be corrected with aftermarket tubes, or um, if it's just a thread they use, if it's just prone to backing out like that. But again, I'll keep an eye on that. Other than that, the gun has been super reliable. I my aim, my eye has gotten way better with this gun after shooting pump guns for oh gosh, almost 40 years. So I'm really enjoying this. I'm not blowing through ammo like people think you do. If you have some discipline, it's no different. I don't shoot any different than I did with my pump. only smoother, and I can keep my eye on the target um, a lot easier since I'm not pumping. And believe me, I was very proficient in a pump shotgun, and it's almost like you don't even know you're pumping. You're going so fast and so smoothly. It still makes a difference though when you're shooting a semi-auto. So at least it did with me, or it does with me. So um, love this gun. I would definitely recommend this gun to anybody. So it's a very affordable, looks very quality, and we'll see how well it holds up over time. But I suspect the amount I shoot, and I'm not out every weekend like I was before I was married, but I'm living in Southern California, and my trips are planned out um, where I do, I camp out. I do a full like at least 4 days, and I camp out, and I can't always do that. Maybe as I get a little bit older, maybe find a little more time. But anyway, I don't. My point is, I don't shoot every weekend. I'm not blowing through, thousands of rounds a year. So I suspect this thing should last me the rest of my life. I hope so. Anyway, that is the review in a nutshell. The Retay Masai Mara has been good to me so far the last 2 seasons, and I recommend if you're looking for a nice semi-auto, check one out for yourself.